In this video, I'll show you how to make your next song sound incredible even if you aren't sure about your music, lack confidence with your production, and have never gotten great feedback online. Keep watching because in this video, I'll tell you exactly what's most important about the music making process, especially if you're just getting started. Hey there, my name is Joey Sturgis, and I'm here to teach you about audio production and help you unleash your creativity in the studio. If you're anything like me, you totally love creating music, and maybe you've just started getting into manipulating audio. So if that's you, you're in the right place because we're going to build up our audio knowledge together and have the sickest sounding recordings on planet Earth. Let's jump into it. The first step starts with the music itself. As much as I'd love to tell you that you can write whatever you want and make it sound incredible, that's just not the reality. You've got to get your arrangement in a good place before you can approach the sound of the music. Things like making sure chords don't clash, getting your harmonies to fit just right, making sure instruments aren't playing competing melodies at the same time, and staying out of the way of the vocals, and all of these factor into how well the arrangement can be performed and thus how good it will sound. It's important because when your arrangement is well designed, the rest of the production will fall into place. It'll be easier to EQ tracks because they're not fighting for the same frequency space. It'll be easier to balance volume levels because you won't have multiple instruments competing for volume. Once you've gotten good at arranging, this means you can easily mix your music even if you're not that great at mixing. Start with the arrangement before tackling anything else. Take a good hard look at what you're playing in your music before you think about how you present it. The next step you've got to take is to get your basic recording down. This is where you want to have a little bit of education to help steer you in the right place and get your source tracks captured properly. At the end of this video, I'll show you a great resource where you can learn these basics and get it right the first time. Now, it's really important to do this step correctly because it can't be fixed later. I remember when Amir was in the studio with me and the guitar player Jesse was learning how to record and mix. When I was checking out his source tracks, there were times where there were pops or clicks or even a hum or a buzz that prevented the audio from being usable in a final production. The good news here is that if you can just master the basics for capturing your source audio during your demo phase, you might even end up with something that captures a certain magic, and the producer could end up wanting to use that in the final mix. In most cases, this will earn you a production credit, and you'll be well on your way to having a start in audio production as a side hustle. Okay, now we've got our basic track down, and we're ready to start thinking about mixing. So the third step here is to use some fundamental mixing techniques to enhance the way that our demo sounds. I recommend just sticking to the basics, and that's EQ and compression. With these two things, you're going to get 80% of the way there to having a solid mix. The reason I say stick to the basics is because if you try and take your demo too far, you're going to go down a rabbit hole that sometimes has a point of no return. When you create a demo where you try to get a final or finished sound, you'll start to get what we in the business call demo-itis. Demo-itis is where you're obsessed with your demo, and whenever you hear something else, you just don't like the changes. This means it'll be harder for a producer to give you his expert input because you're too attached to your demo. This is the opposite of what you want. Get the music as close to as solid as possible and move on. Let the producer have some room to add his 2 cents. The final step is coming to terms with where you are at within your ability. Lacking confidence in your musical ability and production quality is totally normal. You don't need to grow skin of steel to feel confident about your music. Music production is a long journey. You will always be somewhere aiming for a higher level. You'll never stop learning, growing, and reaching for that next big achievement. So just get comfortable with the process and be excited that it's easier now than ever before to share your music with the world. You'll be surprised at how this attitude can actually change the way you feel about your music and actually give you a lot of clarity on what to improve and how to improve it. Anyway, this is what I think, but there is always something more interesting, and that is what you think. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thumbs up if you like this video, subscribe and follow to see more. Do you want to learn more about my audio production process? You're in luck because I've teamed up with Creative Live to give you my exact methods for audio production, step by step, in what we call the Studio Pass. This class is packed with everything you need to craft audio productions just like mine. Click the link on this video to enroll now. I will be compensated when you make a purchase. I'm also going to make a special offer. If you purchase the class, send me your receipt to support@joeysturgistones.com and you'll get a free JST plugin up to $49 in value. How awesome is that? Click the link on this video and grab my Studio Pass class with Creative Live. Thanks for watching the video. Now, if you come back tomorrow, I'm going to answer the question, what if Joey's mixing tips don't work for me? See you then. Happy mixing.